This is how I made my latest song, Must Be Dumb. So I started off with this very interesting synth that I found. I forgot which plugin it came from, but just have a listen. So then on top of that, I was playing around in addictive keys with my MIDI keyboard and then came up with this. So I mean, that kind of plays throughout like the entire track. I think we can see here, there may be a couple pauses over there, but yeah, that's kind of, it just keeps it going. The next thing that I added to the second chorus is kind of like this housey pluck. So that kind of just follows the same glitchy piano plucky pattern that I had going on, so nothing too hectic. The next layer that I have here is this little pad that I'd added. This comes in just before the second chorus as well. You can see here that I did some automations just to cut it out. So just before the chorus, it cuts off very suddenly on the bar, but then in the actual chorus, I allow it to play it out. So the next layer that I have here comes in for the main chorus. I just liked how much bigger it made it sound, so... And then in the actual chorus, so this is the pre-chorus over here, but you can hear in the main chorus, it goes up an octave higher, but then I also have the same layer underneath. And then kind of to add to the pad that we had before, I added these little string synth, plucky, not really plucky type things. So you can kind of just hear the bit crushing sweeping on that. Now this plug literally plays throughout the entire song. It's what you hear when you first start playing the song. So compared to the glitchy piano one, it's quite simple. So that's what they sound like together. Originally, I added this because I thought it just needed some extra layers in the song, but it also really reminded me of Jon Bellion's Luxury. Absolutely love the song, and I love that this reminded me of that, and it just worked so perfectly. So, and over here you can see that I've called this layer the toot lead. But it's quite similar to the lead in One Night. I just love the sound of that lead so much, so I thought it would work perfectly in the song, so I added that. So altogether, here's what those layers sound like. And you can see here that I have two patterns following the exact same thing. So this one is just the bass by itself. Throughout the mixing process, I felt like there needed to be some more high-end with that. So here's a very distorted and high-passed version of that, and I paired those two together just to make it a bit more present. So it just makes that little difference, that little subtle difference that just stands out in the mix. You can see in the parts where I didn't want it to be so present, I took it out. So that's during the verse and then the pre-chorus. So we've got a very basic kick throughout the track. So I found the snare in a pack. It took a bunch of Jon Bellion sounds and isolated the drums. So this snare is from Jon Bellion's 80s film track. So that just worked perfectly with the little plucky synth that I had at the start. And then on top of that, I added an acoustic snare. And then we've got a very basic hi-hat pattern just playing throughout. So sometimes I forget about this when I'm listening back, but then it just stands out to me when I remember again. But it kind of sounds like some sort of lamb or something, some sheep. And then obviously to make the drums just a bit more bouncier, you know, we have some toms. So here are all the drums all together. So I was just playing around with the vocals at first. I wanted it to be fun and somewhat lighthearted. All the lyrics are about some kind of problem that I had after high school. I was picking whether I stay in Cape Town where I grew up, or I could move overseas and get a job and do whatever. I have no clue.
Broke my heart. He says, she said. What? Fast forward.
Okay, so definitely most favorite part about this track is these choirs that I built with myself.
Dumb. Run. Fun.
So heavily reverbed, I wanted this big choir effect. So I took all of those normal pitch recordings and formatted them up at random amounts, pitched them, played with them to make this little children's choir to layer with my voice.
Run. Fun. Love.
Run. Fun. Love.
Okay, so that's how I made Must Be Dumb. Really fun song to make, super bouncy and fun to listen to. So I highly recommend you go and check that out. I love making these kinds of videos, so if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe to see what else I do next.
People build plans so I can run. Southside sun, no, it's been fun. Gotta get away, so show me love. Threw it all away, I must be